am happy to say that I have a special guest. Hopefully, it's more of one of those, not one time, but maybe every once in a while or a little bit more often thing. But wanted to do our weekly Sunday lives. Let me fix the camera just a little bit and see what you guys have, and then also try and get some of what Shannon's thoughts are on our last couple of cruises. You guys will hear our little guy going in and out of the doggy door, so we apologize. But yeah, you guys are seeing some of our Alaska Hawaii cruise, and then also wanted to get a little bit of info from Shannon on how she felt about that, and then maybe talk about my retirement. See,
Cruise.
no,
Oh,
like how you how you feel about me being retired now. Is it a little different than you thought? Don't want to throw too many things out there at first, but what do you think about the Alaska cruise? Let's do that first. Alaska slash
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
It was uh, awesome. It was great. We saw a lot, um, but it was also a lot of time on the ship, which um, I kind of started going stir crazy a little bit. But I met that female veteran. What was she, like 100 and
Oh,
106? Was she 106?
she was something like that,
Yeah, and she was
and I don't know why I want
a
to call.
nurse and met her husband who had a bullet lodged in her heart, and she was going to Pearl Harbor and didn't have an escort. So my mission was to get her an escort, and ended up reaching out to Holland America's media relations, and she ended up being on the news and getting an escort. So I had like a little mission when I was stuck on the ship, and so that kept me occupied, which was nice. Because otherwise, I was kind of going a little. I was a little bit bored at times, so it was nice to just have, you know, something to do because it was cold.
Right.
So I couldn't just like lay by the pool and drink rum punches
Yes.
because it was cold. So, and I didn't really want to do origami. So, yeah. I wish they would have had more movies. I remember when we did our Alaskan Princess cruise, he is so loud in the background. It's almost like we gotta lock him out. we
Yeah.
do so now he's drinking water.
Yeah.
Um, I remember at Princess we did an Alaskan cruise and we were able to see a movie in the Princess Theater. And on cold days, it's fun to see a movie. So I wish they had more movies
Yeah.
playing in the theaters.
I'm just gonna throw a quick shout out to Lego. How you doing? Um, yeah, I will say that on the shorter cruises, it seems like they have. Maybe it's just because they're shorter cruises and you're doing a lot, but it felt like they had more things to do. That was our first Holland America cruise,
Hmm.
so
I did absolutely love the sauna. That was free. So I took advantage of the sauna every day. And that was really nice because my back was hurting. So the sauna was incredibly helpful for my back pain.
what did you think about the ship overall?
I thought the ship was beautiful. I loved the ship. The crew was different. Uh, the staff on the crew, I almost felt like we were, and we are. When you're cruising, you're in their home. That's their home, and you're just visiting. And I feel that a lot. Like I'm in your home. Yes, you're serving us food and cleaning and all that stuff, but it's where they live. So I almost feel like a visitor of their domain.
I could see that.
I felt that a lot on the Call in America ship. Like the crew's very tight, but almost like we were outsiders a little bit.
Do you
It
think
was interesting.
Do you think that was partially because it was a smaller ship and like the quarters were a little bit tighter. Like people didn't have, I will say that people didn't have a lot of places to run and hide to. So anything that was like an activity, it seemed like there was a lot of people at those activities. So like you were talking about the origami, I went by there a couple times and there was probably 30 or 40 people doing origami, which I didn't necessarily think was going to be like the hit
And
of.
maybe it's fun. I've never done it.
I've never done it either.
Maybe I should have tried origami. I might have loved it.
Yeah. Um, I thought when it came to Holland America initially, um, hey, just saying hi to all you guys joining us. How you doing? What is it? White J96. How you doing? I will say that um, we've been cruising a lot on older ships, probably for the last couple of years. I'm gonna
Mm.
think. I don't know what's. Oh, the Sky Princess and the Regal Princess. Those are fairly new ships. I will say that there is a difference, even on the same cruise line. When you go on, like we've gone on the Sky and then we were on the Caribbean Princess, and you can tell there is a difference
Mhm.
in the ships. And I almost feel a little bit too like the customer service on the older ships aren't aren't as good as
Yeah.
the newer ships, which is odd to me because those older ships are smaller, which I would think because you see those same people over and over again, that you get a little bit better service. But I do feel like at least the ones that we've been on, we've gotten a little bit better service with the bigger ships.
So it's almost like there's a hierarchy. So the cream of the crop go to the brand new ships. Because I remember talking to someone on, I prefer the smaller, more intimate ships. Plus, they're cheaper. Um, I like
They
them.
are.
But I mean, like the Sky Princess was beautiful. I actually really did like that ship. But I was talking to someone on the oldest princess ship that we were on, the Car- Caribbean
I think
Caribbean
it was
Princess,
either the Grand or the Caribbean.
and I said, and I was talking to one of the girls at the desk, and I go, "Oh my gosh, you look really familiar. Did I see you on the Sky Princess?" And she goes, "I wish I was on the Sky Princess. Like that's my dream to be on the Sky Princess." So it's almost like maybe the cream of the crop. People go to the newer
I'm gonna
ships.
grab your glasses. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
don't know.
feel like people go to
Could
the
be wrong.
newer ships. Um, but I think a lot of the people that are going to the newer ships are younger or
Oh,
first time cruisers because they're.
passengers. No, you're talking about the crew or the passengers?
Oh, I'm talking about the passengers. Were
The
you talking about the
passengers.
crew?
I was talking about the
Oh,
crew.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably when their contracts are up, they go home, they go on vacation, and then they see what contracts are open for whatever ships. I'm not too sure that. I don't know how particular they can be. That's a good question. We could probably ask the next time we're
Yeah.
on a ship.
Yeah.
Is that Ben Israel 1010? How are you doing, Ben? Thanks for hitting the likes. If you guys can hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. I got a guest appearance here. Gonna try and make this a little bit more of a more common thing or a more I don't know how to say it, but
Every once in a while, I'll join.
yeah, I'd appreciate if you joined every week, but I'll take what I can get. But um, we just got off of the what ship are we on? Royal
Was
Caribbean's
it the Adventure of the Sea?
Adventure of the Seas, yeah, and we've been on one of
I prefer the Navigator over the Adventure.
the Navigator's a very similar ship to the Adventure. I think they're all in the same class. We had the Freedom, which was right next to us at Perfect Day. It looked like the same style of ship. Um,
The staff was incredible on the the one that we were just on, the
Adventure.
Adventure. Jerry, our steward, was amazing. Shout out to Jerry. And then our servers in our restaurant, they were incredible. And I wrote their names down. Let me look it up
The
because
servers.
our servers were so sweet. The husband and wife team.
Yeah,
I loved them.
I forgot their names as
Oh my
well.
gosh.
But yeah, that was great because we had our grandkids. That was the first time that we'd ever cruised with our, well, I shouldn't say the first time. Peyton, our granddaughter, she'd just turned a year, but she was with mom and dad when we were cruising. But this is the first time that we had both of the grandkids. We had Peyton and Grayson. Grayson's 5 and Peyton's 8, and she'll be 9 in June.
Well,
So
Grayson will be 6 in March.
true,
Yeah.
true. So that was definitely an adventure.
Yeah.
Trying to get there, um, that was crazy.
American Airlines, awful. They were awful. Their customer service was awful. They were booking people on a broken plane that had been sitting on the runway for 3 days. We met people that had been at the airport for over 3 days, and they were not working with us at all. And um, I don't ever want to fly American again.
I think the reason why we booked American was
It's cheaper.
because it is one of the cheaper airlines, and I also had the credit card, which means that we get free checked bags. But I will say that the customer service was pretty terrible.
Hmm.
I know that they had um,
Panama
weather.
City in particular.
Well, we had weather go through Texas here in the United States a couple weeks ago, and that created a domino effect where everything flight wise going in or out of Dallas, Texas was really messed up. It took Shannon, I'm going to say like 50 hours because she got there a few hours before I did. We had to split up our flights. She flew on Southwest, I flew on United, and I got there 4 hours after she did. So that was one of the worst travel adventures I've had.
Yeah, but the difference between being on American and going through that nightmare and dealing with attitude, and then switching to Southwest, the customer service was incredible. I was exhausted. I was sitting in the airport in Nashville, and I had taken a red eye, and I was there at 5 a.m. waiting for my 8 a.m. flight to get me to Panama City. And I must have looked exhausted, and this beautiful stewardess came up to me and she said, "Hello, my friend, are you flying with us today?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Can I get you a cup of coffee?" And I was thinking maybe they had like a lounge where she'd go get me like a little styrofoam cup of coffee. No, she went to this fancy coffee house, bought me a coffee with her own money with a double shot of espresso, and brought me back a warm bagel with cream cheese. And apologized for the storms.
Do you,
She was so sweet.
do you,
I was just like, oh my gosh, I've never had a stewardess be so sweet to me ever.
do you think part of that was because you said she was like, like, ah, do you think that was because of all the bad treatment that you had before?
No, she was amazing. She was so kind and so like pretty and sweet, and she had the cutest little southern accent, and it was just like going from the West Coast and dealing with cranky people, and then all of a sudden experiencing some of that Southern charm. And the South, people in the South are either the nicest people that you've ever met or like the rudest people you've ever met. Like you have that Southern charm, or you just have flat
Yeah.
out, or there's not a lot of in betweens. It's very interesting. But when you get that Southern charm, it's like very endearing. It's really nice. I'm gonna close the doggy door.
No, it's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
he drives me crazy.
Yeah.
He's so loud.
I just wanted to say again, hi to Ben. For you guys that are watching, if you could hit that like and the subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before our next vacation, which is in a couple weeks. We're going to
Cancun.
Cancun, and we're going to be doing a bunch of live streams from the different resorts that we're at. So we're going with a couple of friends, Dan and Dawn, to one of the Holiday Inn resorts in Cancun. And then I believe they're probably flying home. And then Shannon and I are going to one of the, I think it's Iberra resorts for a few days, I think 3 or 4 days. So look forward to those. Again, if you're not used to our channel, we do appreciate you coming and watching, and hit that like and subscribe button. So I'm going to ask you how you felt about the overall cruise on Royal Caribbean with the grandkids. Let's go. Let's do it by categories. Let's go food first.
The buffet was good, but it was overcrowded. Uh, And did they have two sides?
They did.
Were they both open?
They were. And so when they would shut down for, like, let's say breakfast, they'd have it open on both sides for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they were getting ready to transition to lunch or dinner,
Mm-hmm.
they would shut one side down, leave one side open, whatever that previous meal was,
Mm-hmm.
so people could still have
Mm-hmm.
breakfast or lunch. And then they'd start setting up for dinner on the one side. So there were
Which is
times where,
smart.
yeah, there were times where you'd only have one side open.
Mm-hmm. And
Unless it was like
usually,
lunch time, breakfast time, or dinner time, then they had both.
but usually by that time, if you go during the off times, there's not as many people. Just
Yeah,
it's crowds for me are very overwhelming. I don't like feeling like I'm a cow, like, oh,
moving
just
through
like,
the line.
oh, I don't like it. So I try to avoid crowds. And so when we cruise, that's not always easy, but if I go into the buffet and it's a madhouse, I'm like, I'll come back. I can't handle those crowds. Sometimes you're forced into it. I don't like it. Um, the people, I will say that the people were very polite. We didn't
The
have a lot of
guests.
line cut. Yeah, the guests. We didn't have a lot of line cutting, and everybody was actually behaving themselves. And I do notice. I will say this. I do notice on some of the older lines, like the Princess and the Holland America, some of the older people can be a little entitled, and you get
Hmm.
a lot of people cutting in line in front of you. And we didn't have that on this ship. Everyone was very polite, and when people did cut in line, they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I cut in front of you?" So I felt like people, would get in line, and everyone was very courteous of each other, which made it much more tolerable.
What do you think some of that attributes to? As far as, I mean, because there was a decent amount of older people on the Royal Caribbean ship. I will say that the clientele is dramatically different when you go from like a elevated Princess cruise line back to like a resort
Yeah,
Carnival Royal Caribbean cruise line. The crowds are usually a little bit younger.
yeah.
Um,
This was definitely a family crowd, a younger family crowd.
yeah, and I will say that I think that ship was at capacity, because anywhere we went,
It was
it
packed.
felt like there was a ton of people,
Yeah.
especially in the buffet. Shannon was talking about um, going to the buffet at off times, and I would usually take the kids to breakfast or bring them breakfast in the morning. And buffet wasn't too bad for the first day. The buffet was terrible as far as crowded, but every morning after that, it wasn't too bad. We could find a place to sit. Um, when I go and grab lunch, it was at an off time. It was probably closer to 1:30 or so, and it wasn't too bad. But again, they only had one side open because they were trying to clean up to start getting ready for dinner on the other side. But um,
People were preferring the buffet on this particular cruise. So we were enjoying the dining room in the evenings. It was just a nice break. And we had very nice people sitting around us, and our servers were amazing. And the grandkids loved it. They really enjoyed it. They liked being waited on. They they seemed to really enjoy the dining room for dinner.
I think they liked the buffet because there was a little bit more variety for
Uh-huh.
them. They could get ice cream, they could get hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever, chicken. When it came to the main dining room, Grayson was pretty much rigid on
Hamburgers every night.
hamburgers with pickles and mustard
Mustard.
and French fries, and that was it. I will give the kid credit. he had a couple of
He had escargot. He had a whole serving of
yeah, he had
escargot. He
appetizers one
ate
time.
all of his escargot. Everyone was shocked, and we told him there that it was snails, and
Didn't seem
he
like he
didn't
cared.
care. And even the servers were like, "Does he know what that is?" And we said we told him.
I think it was
He
because
loved it, the butter.
there was the butter because he even took some bread and was trying to wipe the
Dip it
butter
in the
on
butter and
that
sauce.
plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that I think that they enjoyed eating. I think we only did the buffet once for dinner, and that was for us terrible
Well, yeah, the kids were.
because they had free reign. It was like, can we go get this? Can we go get that? And we really,
They didn't want to sit still. They were maybe overstimulated, so they kept wanting to get up and get up and get up and get up and get up, and then but it was still kind of fun because they ordered for dessert. They ordered crepes, and they had chocolate and more chocolate, and they came back with these giant crepes, and the people making. I feel like most of the staff love children because they're away from their children. They're very sweet to the children. And so they were like, "Oh, you want some chocolate?" And they were having fun, and they came back with these giant chocolate crepes. And so I thought it was fun and cute for them, but they were kind of a little wild. They're acting a little bit wild. Um,
they didn't have really have that option when we were in the main dining room. They had their seat. I mean, they would go to the bathroom and come back, so
yeah,
that gave them a little bit of freedom. But
they have a hard time sitting still at that age.
yeah, and I can understand that. So I kind of felt bad that Grayson didn't have more options. Peyton took advantage of it.
A
She
lot
did
of steak.
she did stick. She did. Oh, man,
She's a
I
steak
was
eater.
thinking that she deviated, but for the most part, she had spaghetti, steak,
Hmm.
and then she had the Caesar salad as her
Yeah, she was enjoying the
appetizer.
grown up food for an
For
8-year old.
sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
she was eating very well. She was enjoying the good life.
So let's talk about the ship overall.
I prefer the Navigator. I think uh, we've sailed on the Navigator 2 or 3 times now.
Technically three, but we did a back to back, so
Okay.
it was twice. We stayed on the. It was we went down one time, went on a 4 day cruise, stayed on the ship, did a 3 day cruise. So in theory, we've been on it 3 times, but really twice.
I like the Navigator. I like how the pool is set up, well, one you like the taco bar, but you can get ice cream right there. They have the food court kind of
Mhm.
there surrounding the pool. I I like the promenade down. Is it the promenade where it's like you're like in a mall kind
Mhm.
of? I like how that's set up a little bit. I like the tiki bar that they have there. Um, I just prefer the Navigator, so I think I was expecting the Navigator, but like the East Coast version on the Adventure, and so I was disappointed. It just didn't have I don't know. I didn't like it as much as the Navigator. I
I
was a little disappointed.
I will say that I think part of the reason why the Navigator is so much different than the Adventure when it comes to the Lido deck is that they put the Loca Fresh and the Johnny Rockets on the Lido. When you're on the Adventure, it's on deck 10, so it's out of the way. It's almost like if you're not looking for it, and we weren't, we just kind of stumbled across it. It's kind of hidden.
Hmm.
Um, the Adventure of the Seas, where the Johnny Rockets is, that whole side of the ship on the Lido deck at the window is all smoking. So there had to be 30 lounge chairs
Oh
or
yeah.
40 lounge chairs where it was just people smoking. And we're not smokers. We're not saying anything bad about smokers, but um, it's just an odd place to have so much smoking set up that almost one side of the ship, if you're allergic to smoke or you have a problem with smokers, you couldn't be on that side of the ship because even when you're just next to the pool, you could smell smoke being blown
Well,
over towards us.
it was a terrible design because you don't necessarily want your small children exposed to secondhand smoke. It's it's not healthy. So basically, in order to get anywhere on the kids' deck, you had to walk through just a bunch of smokers with your children. And I think that's a poor design. Every other ship that I've been on, the smokers, and look, smokers deserve to have their
Hmm.
smoking section. They had like a private section, kind of in the back. And here, they're just kind of out in the open with kids walking by them all the time. So I thought where they designated the smoking section was a very poor decision. And um, and in order for us to get to our room, we had to walk through the casino
Yeah.
and just so much smoke in the casino. And when you have little children, children aren't supposed to be walking through the casino. But if that's how you have to get to your room, you're just like hurry up and hold your breath and just hurry up and walk through real fast. So the ship design was very odd.
Yeah, that was a so we had stayed in on the Navigator on a what they consider an interior room, but it faces the promenade deck and it has a window, which was very cool.
The
I
window is
thought,
awesome.
and then we stayed in a balcony the second time. I didn't realize that on that style of ship, on decks 2 and 3, you can't walk all the way from one side of the ship to the other. It's because they have the Studio B, which is the area where they have ice skating, and that takes up 2 floors. So if your room is on deck 2 or deck 3, you have to go up to at least 4. We would go to 5 because we started going to 4, and that's where the casino was at. So we went up to
To
5
bypass,
to bypass the casino. And the only way that you could really bypass the casino was
to walk outside.
to walk outside on 4, which we'd done a few
Yeah.
times. It was nice to get some fresh air, but um, just a pro tip: if you're on one of those, either the Adventure, Freedom, or Navigator, just be aware that decks 2 and 3, if you're staying in one of those rooms, you can't walk through, and it's kind of a hassle. Like we would go in the elevator up to 9 and walk over, or 11 where the kids club was, just so we could get back and forth to our rooms without having to um, navigate the casino.
I just felt like everything was a trek.
Hmm.
Um, where our room was, like anywhere we wanted to go, it was just a big trek and trying to figure out, okay, how do I cut across? And a lot of people were kind of walking around lost the first few days, like, how do I get to my room? How do I get to my room? And the stewards were very sweet. Like they'd see you lost in the hall and be like, okay, how can I help you? Okay, go this way, go this, because they're used to it, I'm sure. But it just seemed like this particular location, it was just to go anywhere. It was a whole thing. It was just a whole trek. Which, when you have children, you know, it's like okay, ready, ready to figure out like which how to bypass this and this to get here and there. So,
So you brought up kids. This was the first time that we've had kids with us
hmm,
on a cruise.
yeah,
How do you feel like the crew, the kids club, like how they treated the kids?
I think that people that work at the kids club like deserve an award. That's got to be one of the toughest jobs. And they were so sweet, and they seem like they're very patient, and they have a lot to deal with. So shout out to anybody that works at a kids club
On any cruise
on
ship,
any cruise ship.
any cruise line,
Yeah,
any cruise ship, yeah.
yeah, or anywhere
Okay,
in the
yeah,
world, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Because it was for us not having kids. All our kids are in their almost either in their 30s or close to their 30s, and having the grandkids that are at that younger age and trying to remember how it was definitely an eye opener for me.
They
That
loved the kids club.
Yeah, Peyton initially was like, we walked by it, her and I walked by it to get to the water slide, and she's like,
I'm
Papa,
I'm too big.
I am not doing that. That is for babies. And I go, okay. And then the next day we went there just so they could look at it. We said, you guys can be here for a little bit, try it out, see if you like it, because they'd been in the pool and some of the other kids had been talking about the kids club, and they're like, okay, we'll try it. And then it was like after that, anytime they weren't in the pool or at the basketball court,
or eating dinner with us.
or eating period, because they
Yeah.
did love to eat.
Yeah.
Any one of those three: food, water slides, or the basketball court, they wanted to be in the kids club. So a little bit of a pro tip for you guys: if you have kids, um,
Have them
take
try it.
take them to the kids club. Even our nephews are like, that's the punishment from my sister-in-law. My brother is like, hey, if you guys aren't good, guess where you're going? The kids club. I will say that I felt like Peyton thought it was going to be a punishment to go there, but they actually enjoyed it. So give them just take them there for a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, just to let them see what it's all about and see if they enjoy it, because you can always go pick them up.
And so the nice thing about the kids club, they make it very enticing because you have to walk through the arcade to get there. So the kids are already like, ooh, arcade. Oh, and there's the kids club. And then the really nice thing about the kids club is when you drop them off, there's a really nice lounge right across the way from the kids
Mm-hmm.
club. And it's the one with the beautiful views of the ocean. So was that the Sky Lounge?
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah, it was a beautiful lounge. So you could just relax with the adults and have a cocktail or, whatever. And it was just right across from the kids club. And there were bathrooms. So that was nice.
So Goldie wants to know our backstory. How you doing, Goldie? Um, he wants to know. He said, "You two are cute. Um, what's our backstory? How did we meet? And who said it first?" So I'm going
Oh,
to answer that last question.
okay.
Who said it first?
I think you did.
I did. I did say it first. So for that one, Goldie, if you're not a subscriber already, if you could hit that like button and the subscribe button, and then I'll let Shannon give a little bit of our backstory and how we met.
We met at the fire department. We both worked for Cal Fire. I uh, used to be a seasonal firefighter, a wildland firefighter, and then I got picked up as a dispatcher, a comm op, because I had a child. So comm op was better hours. You weren't off on an engine fighting fire throughout the state of California. So I was a comm op, and he was a captain. And we were coworkers, and we were friends for a really long time. The first time we met was on a fire in Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I ended up transferring to his unit, which was in Morgan Hill, and we ended up working together all the time. And he was a fire captain, but he was also a fire prevention officer. So he was a peace officer. Cal Fire has
Law
peace
enforcement.
officers. We have post-certified law enforcement officers, and we have very few of them. And so as a dispatcher, I was always incredibly protective of our law enforcement officers because they were alone a lot and they were out there by themselves without backup. And so I was close to all of them because I just felt like it was my job to look out for them and make sure they were safe at all times, especially if I knew they were like, in the woods or off doing a traffic stop and I didn't hear back from them. I would try to raise them on the radio or contact them. And so I always had a good relationship with law enforcement officers and a lot of respect for them. And so we just became close work friends, and
Yeah,
we're friends for like a decade.
probably close to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We
That's
mutual respect, a mutual work
oh, for
respect.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shannon was great at what she did. I always appreciated her being in there. Unfortunately, when you're one of the folks in the field, firefighter, prevention captain, anybody that's on the other side of the radio, you really figure out who those folks are that work in the dispatch centers that take care of you. And you really depend on everybody in there. But unfortunately, there were times where people were in there, maybe it was new to the job or just didn't really like the job, that you couldn't trust them. She was always somebody that you could trust. I'm going to let one of our pups out. He's only got 3 legs. Here you go, big dog. So, um,
We have a 14-year-old pit bull rescue that recently lost a leg, and he's still doing really good. And so, yeah, he's a good boy.
yeah, sorry about that. Just
Still acts like a puppy.
had to let him out. He can get in and out of the doggy door. It definitely helped him when he had all four legs. So sometimes when he's trying to get in through that doggy door,
He'll get stuck halfway.
he'll get stuck and he'll fall and he'll get himself out of it. But it definitely is easier for him to get out the sliding glass door. We put a little step out there for him to help him get up and down, just to make it a little bit easier for him.
Plus, it's snowy and kind of icy out right now.
So Goldie's got another question. Two things you guys love about each other and how you keep things running and fun. So two things that we love about each other. I will say one thing for Shannon is she's very nurturing, and she's dedicated.
Aw.
So, and I don't know if loyal is considered dedicated, but I'm gonna go three things because I don't necessarily know that dedicated and loyal are the same thing. I think they're different. So I'm gonna give you three, Goldie, and then how do we keep it fun? I will
We
say,
travel a lot, but we do it within our budget. We're not crazy. Brian knows how to get the gambling
I can get discounted cruises through.
discounts.
It's right now it's mostly through Royal Caribbean, but we did an 8-day cruise out of Puerto Rico. The flight for both of us to get to Puerto Rico and back was actually more than the 8-day cruise. I was able to book an 8-day cruise. It was Ocean View,
Which is fine.
which is fine, on an older ship. We'd never been to Puerto Rico before.
It was amazing.
It actually was amazing. That was probably one of the best
Oh.
trips we've ever
And
had.
I love Puerto Rico, and I love Puerto Ricans. Yeah, it was amazing. And a lot of people on our cruise were Puerto Rican, and they
Yeah.
were so much fun.
Yeah, it was, I'm getting off topic, but it made it to where I would want to go back to Puerto Rico. So to get back to my point, I want to say the flight was like $800 for both of us, which isn't too bad. And the cruise for 8 days was $500. So for us to get to Puerto Rico, get on a cruise ship, I mean, obviously it's going to be more than $1,300, but that's a great price for an 8-day trip.
It was amazing.
We ended up spending a few days in Puerto Rico before
Which is
we
amazing.
actually got on the cruise, which is, I think, part of the reason why we love Puerto Rico, and we would go back there in a heartbeat because we realized that 3 or 4 days in Puerto Rico is not enough to see a part of the United States that we don't necessarily get to see, which would mean that the U.S. Samoas we would need
Yeah.
to see as well.
Yeah.
But keeping it fun, I'm not going to lie, Goldie. It's day to day. I mean, we have our disagreements or whatever, but we often, come back to a mutual agreement that we respect each other. And you're not always going to have a great day. Shannon may have a bad day. I may have a bad day. I will say that now that I'm not working anymore, I'm retired, even though I'm working part-time for the fire department still.
And I work part-time for the fire department too,
It
which is nice. Keeps us busy and out of each other's hair, so we're not in each other's hair all the time.
I will say that making her a priority is something that I think helps us both out, because she is, I don't want to hyper focus on her, but she's definitely very important to me, and I want to make sure that any of her needs are met.
I think we keep it fun by not being overly bougie. We're pretty down to earth,
Mhm.
so we don't have to have like why would we pay for a suite,
An
when
expensive room.
in an expensive room on like only a brand new ship when we can take that money that we save and do 3 or 4 different trips. So we're perfectly happy with an interior room every now and then. Our window view is fine, and
Whatever we can get.
to get out and adventure and
Yeah.
see the world,
I- We have a group cruise coming up where we have about, I'm going to say at least 30, it's probably closer to 40 people going. And we've never sailed out of Galveston, Texas. The stops that we're going to, we will have been to, but one of the things that we try and do to kind of keep things different, even if it's the cruise destinations we haven't been on, is
try to switch it up.
sail out of a different location, because we've sailed out of sailed out of New York.
Mhm.
We sailed out of Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
We sailed out of Orlando,
Mhm.
Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Mhm.
We've sailed out of Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
We've sailed out of Seattle.
And San Francisco.
We've sailed out of San Francisco,
Mhm.
and we've sailed out of Vancouver.
Yeah.
So out of our 20, I think it's 3 or 4 cruises now. That's at least 10 different cruise ports. So even if you're going somewhere on a cruise that you've been to before, maybe try and switch it up and go to like a destination that you're leaving from and coming back to that you've never been to.
And get there early or stay late and enjoy. Like Vancouver, we went to Squamish and Whistler and Shannon Falls, which is incredibly gorgeous. And we took a gondola through the sky to
It
mountain
was like the Sea to
gondola,
Sky
sea to
gondola.
sky. Oh, it was incredible.
I would
Yeah.
say that I like to do a vacation within a vacation. That's what I call it. So we'll get to the location either a few days before or we'll stay a couple days longer. It's usually we get there a few days before. It helps with the travel, the jet lag, and those kinds of things because we like to really take advantage of being on the cruise ship. So if you fly in the day before, the day of, sometimes there's jet lag. So um,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how we try and keep things.
Just new adventures, new
Mhm.
experiences all the time.
Yeah.
Like even if we go out to eat, it's like, well, let's try a new place.
Hmm.
Let's. And we don't live too far from Tahoe or Reno, where they have lots of options.
Yeah.
So,
So we both are California natives that have moved to Northern Nevada in the last 8 years,
mhm.
and we really appreciate the fact of where we live now in Northern Nevada. We live out in the country. We don't have a ton of people where we live.
We're on a couple acres,
Yeah, we have a little bit of property. We have
surrounded
some
by mountains.
beautiful mountains right behind
Yeah.
us. We got some snow. We were part of that winter snow for the Sierra Mountains in that Nevada, California area.
The Sierra Basin.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Goldie's got a bunch of questions. Traveling is fun. I'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna put a ring in October, hopefully. So asking, how do you make things fun yet respectful? Cruises are fun, but I think considering that we both work is going to be kind of tough. Okay, where do you live, Goldie? One of the things that Shannon and I will do is road trips.
Mhm.
She really, so
I love a road trip.
she prefers doing land vacations. I prefer doing cruises for the fact that I've been, I don't want to call it the service industry, but
Public service.
public service for 30 years. And I've given a lot of myself up, which is taken away from our relationship, is taken away from our kids' relationship with us. So, um,
When you're
I,
on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean, they can't call you back.
yeah, and you're taken care of very well. When we do land vacations, road trips, and I shouldn't say land because you can go to resorts and they take care of you, but um, like travel road trips, there's a lot of planning that we have to do, a lot of figuring out we have to do, and I don't necessarily like having to do that part of it. I like just having things kind of done for us. Our last big road trip was from our home here in Northern Nevada to Montana,
That was amazing.
and that was a great trip, but there's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
You
Which is
love
beautiful.
driving, but I'm not a big fan of driving.
There's so much to see. We drove through Idaho, and it was just one of my favorite trips. And then our Nashville trip was really fun too.
Okay, so you guys live in Qatar, Indonesia.
Oh,
Wow.
that's beautiful there.
So his other half lives in Indonesia. So
Our son was in Qatar when he
yeah.
was in the Air Force.
So Goldie, you might be somebody we could
beautiful.
reach out to if Indonesia is a place that you travel to, because that. So Shannon and I have a cruise. Well, we're going to Cancun in like 3 weeks. We're going to Italy in a month. No, not a month. 2
In May.
months. And then we're doing our group cruise out of Galveston, Texas, my retirement cruise with all our friends and family. That's in October. Then we're doing a cruise February of 27, but I would really like to try and plan
Bali.
a trip to Indonesia. Wherever we end up in Indonesia, Thailand, something very, is that considered tropical?
Yeah. I mean, I would consider it
But I would love,
tropical,
yeah,
jungle.
I would love to get us to the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, somewhere out there and spend a few weeks or a month just kind of seeing what it's like there. Because I will say that most of the interaction that we have on cruise ships, and I hate to just hit cruise ships so much because we're travelers, but
We love people from Bali.
oh my gosh, from Indonesia,
Yeah, from
they
Indonesia.
are
It's so
the
wonderful.
Philippines, like they are so
Yeah.
helpful, so friendly, and if they're just half of what they are, I know they're um, as servers or in that guest relations, but if the folks in those countries are half as nice as the ones that we meet while we're traveling, I think I would love it.
They have a great attitude.
Uh, Honestly, I love Indonesia because she lives there. Because yeah, it is a beautiful place, and when you have somebody that that you appreciate as well, I think it makes that travel or that area that you're in. Like I love being anywhere with Shannon. It makes the experience, I'm gonna say, 1,000 times better, just because when you can share that experience with somebody, um, I think it makes it that much better.
Our dog's
You're hearing
drinking
our
a
little
gallon
guy.
of water.
Yeah, he's only like 30 pounds, but he'll drink literally a gallon of water every day. Honestly, I love Indonesia because she lives there, but yes, it is a beautiful place. Yeah, so we've only seen travel videos, we've only done some research on other folks being there,
Hmm.
and then just speaking to, I will call some of them our friends
Hmm.
because um, they're Facebook friends because they live in Indonesia, Bali,
Hmm.
and they're working on the cruise ships. But they have said that when we are there, if they are not on a cruise ship working, that they will definitely take the time to,
Show us around.
yeah,
Show us where to go.
like Udi, we met a gentleman that was serving us on one of our cruises on Royal Caribbean. I think it was one of our first ones, and we saw him on a different cruise ship, and he saw us at the main dining room, and he made it a point to come over and talk to us and tell us how much he appreciated us from um, the previous cruise.
And
So
we hugged, and we were
yeah,
like friends. You become friends
yeah,
a lot of times.
and I will say that's one of the things that Shannon and I do find is that no matter where we go, it's a land vacation, a road trip, cruises, we tend to find, I'm going to call them lifelong friends.
Yeah, we make friends.
Rose,
Vern and
Bernie,
Rose, John
Dan
and
and Dan.
Dan. Yeah.
You got Dave and
Tracy.
Tracy,
Yes.
Adrian.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Tracy and Dave.
So
Yeah.
Tony and Jenny.
Yeah.
Um,
We're forgetting a bunch of people.
yeah, and
We've met
apologize
so
if
many
we are.
amazing
But yeah,
people. Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad that Shannon came in. I don't want to take up too much of her time. I usually only do 20-minute or so lives on Sundays, but appreciate all those comments, Goldie, and everybody else watching right now. If you guys could hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be trying to do lives here on Sundays right around this same time, and I'm hoping that a few of you will come back every week. It may not be with Shannon. I'm gonna keep poking her in the side and saying, I really enjoyed this.
I just want to say one last word that I would like to say is when you travel, try to be open minded because try to enjoy the adventure and the seeing, laying eyes on something for the first time. And, if if you're someone that, oh, you have to have the suite, or you have to have this, or you have to have the top of the top, you might not have as much fun. Like just kind of go with the flow and enjoy the adventure and seeing new things and meeting new people. And that's how we're able to travel as much as we do. We're not rich, we're very working class, but we save. And then we'll do like an interior, or we'll do an older ship, or we're more looking at the itinerary or where we're sailing out of than, oh, we have to have a suite, or we
A
have to have
specific
this, or
ship.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be very open-minded and kind of go with the flow and look forward to the adventure and not necessarily the amenities, which it is nice to have some top-notch amenities, but
Yeah.
let that be a treat,
Well,
rather
you're not
than,
expecting it every time.
yeah, yeah,
So,
that's just my opinion.
so I will say I was gonna close the live out, but Shannon did hit on a good point. I was um, trying to make the best. I had talked about the 54 hours it took us to get to the other side of the United States. It only takes us normally 8 or 9 hours, but it took us 54 hours to get there, just due to all the travel
The
complications.
delays.
I really did try and make the best of it.
Yeah.
I took some time um, creating videos for the lounges at the airports. I'll have those up if you guys are interested in the lounges at airports. I will say that something we'll have to talk about in our next video
Yeah.
is that, you know, what's the difference of being at an airport and being in a waiting area? Not that we're elitists or anything, we just happen to have a credit card that allows us to get into lounges. So it's not like we're doing anything anybody else can't do
Yeah.
for a very,
Reasonable.
reasonable price. So we do travel a lot, we do fly a lot. So having the ability to be in those lounges makes things a lot nicer.
And if you factor in, if you're stuck at the airport for 5 or 6 hours and you're paying for the overpriced food and water and da na na, in the end, we're paying less than the yearly fee in order to get into the lounges, because you have free food, you
Right.
have alcohol, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Goldie. I appreciate the comments. Again, if you guys haven't hit the like or the subscribe button, appreciate all the comments. We're going to try and do this again next week. I'll try and come up with some new topics. It may just be me. Hopefully it won't be. But I want this to be something that my beautiful wife is a part of, because I really do. I mean, honestly, the 20 minutes why the lives go so short is because I run out of things to talk about, and she gives me a lot more things to. It's good to bounce things off of her. We do that on our videos, so go back and watch some of our videos we do while we're actually in the middle of our cruise. We'll take some time and talk about the experiences we're having. So again, appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.